Following a high-speed collision involving two patients, Mr. Daniel Lauder, a paramedic from the UK, abandoned a trauma patient to a student, failed to conduct a trauma survey or timely observations, misjudged the patient's hemodynamic status, failed to transport in emergency mode, and misrepresented himself as a mentor after being removed. The second instance involved failing to provide oxygen when necessary, not recording observations, and falsely claiming a patient refused hospitalization. He was thus removed from the professional register due to misconduct and impaired fitness to practice. This case highlights themes of patient safety, accountability, honesty, and safe delegation. Paramedics are regulated by Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency, or AHPRA, and the Paramedicine Board of Australia. Practitioners must follow the Code of Conduct and professional capabilities, emphasizing integrity, comprehensive assessment, and accountability. The purpose of this video today is to examine whether Mr. Lauder's fitness to practice would be impaired under Queensland law, and how fitness to practice hearings protect patient safety and public confidence. Professional misconduct is any conduct substantially below expected standards, and so for a critically unstable patient, continuous monitoring and a primary trauma survey are essential. According to the AHPRA Code of Conduct, Section 10.3 requires modelling professional behaviour, and Section 10.1 requires effective supervision of students. Mr. Lauder neglected these responsibilities by leaving the patient with the student and not providing any guidance. Principle 1 of the paramedic principles of care requires safe, patient-centered care. By failing to assess, monitor, or even escalate concerns, Mr. Lauder breached both professional responsibilities and ethical obligations. So ultimately, his failures against the Code of Conduct, principles of care, and national law constitute serious professional misconduct in the care of patient A. In patient B's case, Mr. Lauder failed to record full observations, delayed oxygen despite saturations at 76%, and provided false information to the GP. These actions breached diligence, honesty, and safe clinical practice. Under the Public Sector Ethics Act of 1994 in Queensland, he failed integrity and impartiality, excellence in service delivery, and accountability. The Civil Liability Act of 2003 in Queensland requires care consistent with peer professional opinion. Any reasonable paramedic would have documented, treated hypoxia promptly, and truthfully communicated with the GP. He also breached AHPRA Code of Conduct Principle 1, Safe Practice, Principle 7, Minimising Risk, and Principle 8 of Professional Behaviour. Overall, his treatment with patient B demonstrates misconduct across legislative, civil, and professional domains, undermining patient and community safety and trust. Mr. Lauder's actions in regards to this case has resulted in ethical implications regarding duty of care, honesty, professional responsibility, and public trust. Leaving a critically injured patient in the care of a student that was not adequately monitored, not completing a full trauma survey or recording vital signs, and failing to provide oxygen when required, put the patients at further risk of harm and showed ineffective care and overall breached duty of care. When Mr. Lauder advised the hospital that the patient in his care was stable when they were in fact not, was misleading and unsafe, as well as telling the hospital that the patient refused to be transported when that was not the case, was dishonest and a serious breach of trust. As a paramedic, you have a professional responsibility. Mr. Lauder breached this when he claimed to be a mentor when he was no longer authorised. There is a public trust that is demonstrated when you are a paramedic, and there are standards that need to be met to uphold that trust. Mr. Lauder took advantage of this trust when he committed unsafe medical practice, and his actions may have led to a declining public trust in paramedics and the ambulance service. In order to protect patients and keep the public safe, Mr. Lauder needed to be struck off to maintain confidence in the overall profession. Now, we have already identified that Mr. Lauder has failed to meet the standards of a Queensland paramedic through breaches of key legislation and codes, including the Standards of Care Act, Standards of Care and Negligence, Civil Liability Act of 2003, Public Sector Ethics Act of 1994, and the AHPRA Code of Conduct. If Mr. Lauder's case were to be heard by the Queensland Civil and Administrative Tribunal, it would likely result in a finding of professional misconduct and a similarly severe penalty. In the UK, Mr. Lauder was given 2 suspension periods before being struck off the register. The UK tribunal found that in addition to his misconduct, Mr. Lauder's lack of engagement and remediation during the review process justified this outcome for the safety of the public. Mr. Lauder has demonstrated unsafe clinical treatment of patients and failed to uphold important values required of Queensland paramedics. The guiding principles of the Health Practitioner National Law Act of 2009 are protection of the public and public confidence in the safety of services provided by registered health practitioners. It could be argued that Mr. Lauder's clinical and ethical failures and lack of attempt to rectify his actions demonstrate that he failed to protect the public and maintain public confidence. Therefore, you could say it would be the Queensland Tribunal's decision to initially suspend but ultimately deregister Mr. Lauder. The application of Queensland law to Mr. Lauder's professional conduct case allows us to understand the severity of the violations. These breaches of conduct not only reduce the public trust that underpins the paramedic and patient relationship, but also place the patients at an increased risk of harm. Fitness to practice processes are a vital safeguard, protecting the public, ensuring accountability, and preserving the integrity of the profession. This case emphasizes the integral nature of regulatory bodies such as AHPRA in maintaining public safety, professional standards, and accountability within the profession. Our profession relies on practitioners who are competent, ethical, and trustworthy to ensure public safety, confidence, and the integrity of the profession.